we'll start talking as soon as we get a couple more people into the chat. We'll get some conversation going, hopefully. Had to take a little bit of a break from my first stream. And that was my first stream ever, so hopefully you guys liked it. Just like everything else with my content, it will get better. Yeah. Let's see who all joins us. You gotta love the people that'll pop over in the fast lane and not go above the speed limit in the fast lane. We're doing 71 in the fast lane right now, and the speed limit is 70. There we go. But in the last live stream that I did when I first got on the road, we talked about medical, we talked about firearms, a little bit about my background, stuff like that. So for this one, I wanted to talk a little bit on a couple different topics, situational awareness, women's self-defense, stuff like that. By no means am I promoting violence in any of the things that I say. Just for those of you out there that might want to pick apart what I'm trying to say, the context matters. We only answer violence with violence when violence is upon us. All right? I think women need to learn a little bit more fighting and self-defense techniques, just because you are the targets more often than men. Women with children, you are the targets more often than men. And so it's bravado for a dude to know how to fight when somebody spills a beer on him and shit like that. My bad on the cussing. But that's not a real life skill that you're trying to understand. And women, I think, being the ones that are the victim the most in a physical altercation, should know a few things how to, whether it's defend themselves, escape, use a firearm when they have been grabbed and stuff like that, or different techniques how to block somebody from being able to get to them or their children. So a lot of the times you'll see kids being taken from a parking lot, and the mother or father has put the child into the vehicle and then gone and loaded the groceries. And I think one of the things that would help us in these situations is if we take and barricade the door that we have where the child is being placed. Hey to you guys that have joined us, appreciate it. But blocking off the doorway that you are putting your child into the vehicle in, getting a barrier between you and whoever could be behind you with that shopping cart. Strap that child in, shut the door, and either lock it or be very quick on how long it takes you to put those groceries into the back of the vehicle. Parking next to the cart wrangler or whatever it's called is another good thing to do, because then you don't have to walk away from the vehicle. All right. If you come to your vehicle and there's a sketchy vehicle, I've already said this in another post, but don't stay around. Move past your vehicle, don't act like it's yours, and come back through. All right? If they're still there, go back into the store like you forgot something. If you have somebody that can come and meet you that's not far away, all right, call them. Be like, hey, I'm walking around the parking lot for a little bit. Can you come to me and make sure that I get in my vehicle and I get away safely and stuff like that. If you need to, have them take you to your house and then come back for your vehicle later. All right? There's a multitude of things that we can do that are different. And women, do not fall for any type of scam. I don't know if this is true or if it was just a video made to get views or something, but there was a story about a woman who was in Walmart. Somebody in a Walmart vest came in, was talking to the woman and said, hey, do you have such and such color and make and model of vehicle? And they're like, yes. And what they ended up doing was following that person into the Walmart and then trying to get her to go outside. And so let's not fall for tricks. All right. When we are trying to be vigilant, all right, we'll stop using the term self-aware. But when you're trying to be vigilant, you don't have to be hyper vigilant. You don't have to be in a panic mode. It can be your everyday. Like as you're driving, you have naturally learned to check all your mirrors without even thinking about it. You don't have the thought in your head that goes, check your mirrors. You just look and check all your mirrors constantly, or you should be. So being vigilant isn't necessarily being in a panic mode or anything like that. It's staying cool, staying calm, and being able to see the things that are going on around you, things that are different from what it was before. And that's where having a baseline for our environment is very important. If you park the furthest away, like me, I'm usually driving a truck, and when I don't have my wife who tells me to park closer, I park almost to the end of the road because I don't want my vehicle to be around other people. Not many people are going to choose to park as far away from the store as I do. And so that gives me a good indication if I come out and there's a box van or a large vehicle that has sliding doors of some sort. Maybe it's one of those minivans, maybe it's one of those Mercedes Sprinter vans or something like that. That's next to my vehicle. I'm carrying, and so I'm visually checking out the situation as I walk to my vehicle. If I can tell that there are more people in the vehicle than I am able to deal with, I'm going to pretend that I forgot something, go back in the store, and then come back out. And I think we as a society try to brush off things too often, and it gets us in trouble. Not only in our everyday where we're going to the stores, we're going shopping or things like that, should we be looking out for suspicious things, but online we should be looking at suspicious activities, suspicious threats, things like that as well, especially those of you that are doing online dating. All right, make sure that if you are not sure of the person and you're sketched out and you don't call it off, make a plan for someone you know to be at the same place. All right, they don't have your date doesn't have to know that they're there. They can be over at the bar or at a different table, whatever it may be. But having somebody close by that has your back and your best interest is a good thing. I don't know how many times that back in high school, this is forever ago, but I knew women that would go, online dating was just coming around. Like, I think at the time Plenty of Fish was the only thing that was out there, but I knew women who were going on dates with people from Plenty of Fish, and they were being sketched out by activities once they were with that person on the date. And like, yeah, you could call somebody to call and kind of like get you out of the situation, but not always does that happen. There was a couple incidences where the one girl I knew was assaulted, and she was able to get away, but not have someone that knows you and can help protect you in a situation like that. I just feel is a little dangerous, and my cup of tea is not putting myself into a situation that does not benefit me. All right, if I feel that harm is going to come to me, I am getting myself out of that situation before the harm befalls me. All right, and so having those forward thoughts and planning things is a very good idea. I know being spontaneous is a fun thing and stuff like that. I'm spontaneous, but I still take precautions, and those precautions are I carry. If I can't carry a firearm, I carry medical. If I'm going somewhere, I give a detailed plan of where I'm going, where I'm staying, how long I'm going to be gone, because like when I lived in Montana, I went backcountry hunting, and my wife had my Onyx account. So when I got to wherever I was going to be, I pinned where I was staying, like my camp, and then I would trace or put the tracker on, and it traces my movement through the entire time. I know that not everywhere I was could be in service to where I could communicate with her through text or whatever, and at the same time there was developments in GPSs that actually were able to text and use satellites, but I didn't know about them at the time, and they were way above my budget. They have come down now, and they're more readily out there. More companies are making it besides Garmin, but I had a plan in place for my wife so that if anything were to happen to me, I didn't come home when I was supposed to be, and I didn't communicate to her in a certain amount of time after I didn't make my initial time. She knew what to do from there, and she would give over my information on my Onyx. That way they could trace where I was going and stuff like that. I kept the cat, so I showed you guys in a video for what's in my vehicle at all times, that cat. I showed you a short from Costco of the newer version of it, but that thing would be fully charged before I'd go into the woods. I'd be able to charge my phone on it through the night. I have a solar charger, and so things like that. I had a primary, a secondary, a tertiary style planning for what I was doing, where I was going, and stuff like that, and I was able to maintain the ability to communicate with her, even if it wasn't through words, so that if anything ever did happen to me, they would have the best shot at finding me. So even if you don't have that, having some type of air tag or something on you just in case is not a bad idea. Using air tags on your children is a great idea. There are other technologies out there, watches, there's like a shoe insert thing that you can put an air tag in for children now. There's a multitude of different things that you can do to be able to keep track of your children when they are not in your care. And I really wish this motorcyclist would pay attention to what he's doing and not continuously slowing down while looking at the side of the road. But there's a tremendous amount of things that we can do to ensure our safety. All right. So when we are doing things that are weird and something may happen, it's good to have a plan, because it's better to be prepared than to not be prepared and an event happen, right? So, does anybody have any comments, questions, or anything like that? It looks like we got 0 people watching right now, so I'm pretty much just talking to myself, which I'm fine with it because it'll make this entire trip go by quicker. But if you guys are still around, which I got 1 thumbs up, that was cool. Yeah, hopefully you guys, well, nobody's here to enjoy it, but hopefully those of you that do join me and continue to watch enjoy it. Yeah, we can talk about anything that you guys want to. I am new to this, so I don't know exactly what to do. I'm just talking about things that I know, things that are on my mind a lot, and stuff like that. So, if you guys enjoy this, guys would follow me on YouTube. I have a Facebook and I have an Instagram, all Shepherd Fieldcraft Defense. I'm hoping to start some bushcraft / survivalist courses coming up this fall. I'm still developing them and trying to work out times, things that I need, gear list that I may have to tell everyone to get, stuff like that, and go from there. All right. So once I have those things planned, I'll post those events and we'll get going on those things. If any of that sounds good to you guys, just like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll inform you when I have the information to push out to you guys on when I'll have those classes. But as of right now, most of them will be a 2-day class, so it'll be like Saturday and Sunday, and there'll be a handful of things we teach and learn each day and practice over for those days. All right. And then once I'm able to figure out some other stuff on the range and firearms training, I'll get that going as well. I'm still trying to figure out where to do it, who can allow me to use their facility to do it, and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot harder than I thought to get somebody to allow somebody outside of their own thing to let somebody in to do some training that isn't their but yeah, so hopefully I can get that stuff coming to you guys soon. But yeah, other than that, life's good. I'm enjoying myself. Work steady, so that's nice. And everybody in the family's doing well. But yeah, I'm just chilling. So hope you guys are enjoying this. At this point, I'm just rambling because I don't have anybody watching, and I can. So yeah, this 3-hour trip is coming to its last hour, so that's nice. I've been doing this stream for 20 minutes now, so my first one went almost 40, this one's 20, so I wasted at least an hour of this 3-hour drive being able to talk to you guys, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Yeah, so we'll continue this for a little bit longer. If nobody else joins, which still hasn't happened. We had a good group of you for a while. and then you guys disappeared, so I probably wasn't talking on something that you guys wanted to hear. But you can change that. You can ask me questions. You can pick my brain on the information that I do have, and if I can't answer it immediately, I will find it and I will post it, and we'll get you the best answer we can find for whatever your question was. Now I gotta get over a few lanes. So there we go. Alright. Oh, I always forget how quickly this exit comes up. But if you guys have anything you want me to typically talk on, by all means, leave it down in the comments. We'll double check. I don't see anything but 3 said highs and a AFL, I think is what that says. Oh no, it's like Thai or Indonesian. I'll have to look at that later. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and stick with me a little bit longer as we make this last leg. Friggin', so far so good. Traffic's not been terrible, but that's what happens when you get a midday drive instead of a late evening drive, so that's always fun. And it means I'm home in time for dinner, so that's a benefit. One more, and there we go. So, what do you guys got on your minds? Any concerns that you guys have been thinking about? We can talk preparedness in the home, stuff like that. Whether you're preparing for the apocalypse, you're preparing for zombies, you're preparing for civil unrest in the form of protests and city takeovers. There's a lot of different things out there you can prepare for. If you guys, where I think everyone should start is food and water, because most of our emergencies that involve being prepared is loss of power, water, especially in areas where you have pipes that burst and then you have to have like a boil notice for forever and stuff like that. Having some good drinking water on hand can be a lifesaver and a job saver, because then you ain't got to do as much. So there's quite a few things that you can do when thinking about preparedness, but I think the best place to start for any of that is food and water. Having at least 3 days of each. All right, 1 gallon. Like for me, it's the easiest to do 1 gallon, because here in the United States you get 1 gallon jugs, or you can get them in smaller bottles. You can get 24 bottles per container and stuff like that, but I like getting the 1 gallon jugs when I first started, because 1 gallon of water a day is what my body needs. Especially in the summer, I might even need a gallon and a half, but I'm safe on that gallon. So 1 gallon per person for 3 days is a good starting on the water. Your food, you can start with rice, beans, canned goods, stuff like that. You don't have to go out there, and you don't have to buy the like 25-year shelf life buckets. You can if you want, and if that's the thing you want, go for it. You don't have to buy MREs. You can buy things that you will eat that will be able to stay on the shelf for the next year or so, because you can take those things and eat that within that next year and replenish your stocks. All right, always keep your oldest towards the front, That way you use it and burn it, and it doesn't sit on your shelf and go bad. You cycle through. I know a lot of people seem to think that you put it on the shelf and you don't touch it, and that's not the case. Buy what you need for 3 days. Start there, and as you go to the store, every month that you buy, so the way I first started this is $20 a month. Because I just got out of the Marine Corps. I was poor. I was getting only $1,200 a month through my GI Bill, and I was focused on getting through school more than I was working for extra money, but I still had the mindset. So I'd take $20 a month and buy something for my stockpile, or however you want to put it, but that's what we're doing, is we're piling away something for an emergency. I would throw that stuff on the shelf, and I would just rotate something. So I would buy what I needed for my normal week, and then I would buy extra with $20 to just put on the shelf for my 3-day emergency. And then as I got more, I would just rotate through, so it wasn't just sitting there going to waste. So I would eat whatever it was that was on the shelf. And that's a good way to do it, is rotate through it. Check those expiration dates. The oldest goes to the front. Use it first, and just keep recycling. Or not recycling, but replenishing. That's the word I was looking for. As you go. Water, having a filter, having the tabs, the aqua tabs, is a great thing. That is a good place to start. Once you have 3 days of that, then let's start talking medical, because some of it is a little bit more expensive than others, and we start with the basics. All right, so that's going to be your minor cuts and scrapes and the tiny little boo-boos that children ask for band-aids on. All right. Once we have bare minimum medical, so you have a couple of like 2x2 gauze, you have some tape, you have bandages, you have wound cleaning stuff. It doesn't have to be alcohol peroxide. It could be soap specifically in a kit that is your medical kit for whatever it may be. Stuff like that. Then you can build upon it. All right. Then you can get into your more trauma style needs, tourniquets, chest seals, packing gauze, stuff like that. And then once you have that, then hopefully you're getting more training to go to the next level, and then getting your nasopharyngeal airway devices. You have the chest decompression needles if you want them, and only use these things if you're trained. Don't just watch a YouTube video on how it's done and think that it's going to be easy in an emergency situation. Those things, I would be willing to pay the money for it. Like learning CPR and using a defib, like, yeah, if you have to, it's going to be like $25 maybe, but you'll have more benefit from those things. And the further along you want to go, then you want to start paying for that more specific medical training that you're wanting. All right. But like I said, once we have our basic medical, we build upon it. You can go as in-depth as you want to. From there, once we have medical, now we can start talking about firearms for security if we wanted to. All right, some people might place it higher. Most of the time, the people that are getting into the preparedness world, they've already thought about the firearm, so they either have it or they don't. And so it's just, what is your priorities? Do you want to get a firearm first? Go for it. It's going to be your bigger ticket item and stuff like that, and you can still do the $20 a month for everything else. Once you have that, and once you have a firearm, $20 a month for ammo. All right, spend your if you whatever your budget is. All right, that 20 isn't for everybody. I get it. Some people are pretty set in their life and they're not struggling, so they have a little bit more disposable income to do this. So do what you can with where you're at, because even a little bit is better than nothing, right? Let's not try and let's not go into the poorhouse trying to do it. So you don't have to prepare for it tomorrow. It's not a test, all right? So you don't have to go out there and spend your life savings on it. Once you have all that stuff, other things that we can do to be prepared is, even if you don't want to lift heavy, if you don't want to run, at least get out there and walk. Make sure that if your plan is to bug out and you have a bug out bag, and that's where you've put all your money into to begin with, make sure you can carry the weight of that pack for a good distance, all right? Training to walk is not as simple as it seems and sounds, all right? It's cool to be able to affect your situation for the better, all right? We don't want to have a pair of shoes on that's going to give us our blisters, all right? If we're worried about it, we should have moleskin in our packs, so just keep those things into consideration. But if we're going to plan on something, train for that thing that you're planning on doing, all right? Make sure that your bag is not too heavy. Make sure that your footwear, that's both socks and shoes, are good for what you're doing, that your body can do it, that you don't need more water and food for your journey than you can carry, all right? So the whole thing about a bug out bag is for it to be a 72-hour bag, right? So most people think that it's traveling for 3 days. No, it's for however long you need to travel in 72 hours to be in a safer place. So if you're in an area that gets hurricanes or wildfires and you get told that you have to evacuate now, all right? Hopefully we're not walking, but if we are, let's make sure we can get to a shelter if you're staying in a hurricane area. And like, I know in the Midwest we have tornado shelters that you can get to and stuff. I don't know if that's the same thing for the hurricane areas. You guys let me know down in the comments for that one. But a 3-day bag gets you 3 days of travel by vehicle, right? It gets you, make sure you can take it on a plane if your plan is to jump on a plane to get out of a hurricane. Make sure everything in your bag can be on a plane, especially for a carry-on. But making sure that we have enough things, clothes, food, water, that's going to last us 3 days, whether we're traveling by car or we're hopping on a plane to go to somebody's another state or somebody's house if we're able to, and do those things, making it to a different hotel that's out of an area in which we'll be heavily affected. Those are the things that a bug out bag is for. The other thing a lot of people talk about a bug out bag for is, all right, Civil War, World War III, zombies, I need to put everything I need on my pack or my back and walk wherever I'm going. Hopefully, where you're going is not a 3-day walk, because this is the simplest way I can explain it to people for people to wrap their head around. If it takes you 1 hour to drive, we're going to say it's going to take you 1 day, so a 24-hour period of time to walk, all right? If we drive for 1 hour, it should take 1 day, all right? That's what I'm saying is our average. Now, there's faster walkers, there's slower walkers, but I'm just going to say, for a rule of thumb, if it's 1 hour of driving, It is 1 day of walking, and that is a 24-hour period, all right? So just keep that in mind. When we are discussing bugging out in that sense, let's hope that it's not a 3-day walk, because I don't think you're going to have enough food in calories, unless you have those calorie bricks, to make a successful trek. You're going to have to do a lot more water, treatment, filtration, the whole 9 yards. Take those things into consideration. So if where you're going is 3 hours away, figure out a route that makes you able to walk that, and see if you can't do it. Figure out what your food and water intake is for that. All right. There's a lot of trail hikers out there, people that do the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, that have videos talking about how they prepare their meals for their calorie consumption and burning through their entire thing, and divide it up into their meals, right? So check them out for those things. If you don't want to buy MREs and you want to build your own things that you like and you're going to eat, there's videos out there for that stuff too, all right? Just make sure you practice with what you have in order to be successful in the emergency, because we don't want the first time that we use everything to be in an emergency, because then we're going to just have demoralizing events that will affect us more than we anticipate, to where you're probably not going to want to carry on. All right, and the whole point of being prepared is to be able to carry on. Be patient with me real quick, because I got to get over a few lanes in order to get my exit. And you, sir, okay. One more. There we go. So, but looks like my phone's about to die anyways, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. For those of you that may have stuck around, come on, Semi, I'm letting you over. For those of you that may have stuck around, pop back and forth, hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys have any other questions, post them down below the video, and we'll go from there, all right? Y'all have a good one. God bless.